Hello Stitchy friends, it has not been that long. I think I filmed my whip parade in early or mid-February, but I have decided to probably do these Flosstube videos about monthly, so doing something like around a monthly recap. So today is the 2nd of March, so this is my February recap. I will show you everything that I worked on in the month of February, and I will give you a few stats as I have them. So for those of you that are interested, I have started to count a bit more stitches and such, so we will see how that goes. And yeah, some of the progress you might have already seen in the whip parade, as that was during February. So some of the projects I am not sure if I worked on in February after filming the whip parade, but we will see. I will put a before picture either here or here to the side, and I will do a top-down filming of the projects again like I did in the whip parade, because I figured that was a lot easier for me personally, and yeah, also easier to show like the projects and easier to take pictures of them. Also, yeah, we have a lot of sun. It's a beautiful day today, so the light might be a little weird. I apologize about that. But yeah, let us get into a few stats. Let me see. Just real quick, I have worked on a total of, let's see, I have 2 separate sheets because I have more than 100 projects. So that is a total of, doing the math, 16 projects that I have worked on in the month of February, 2 finishes, and I have started a total of 4 new projects, and I have 1 fully finished object. So let us start with the finishes real quick. One of them, this is the fully finished one. This is my shamrock mandala. This is a pattern that I have made myself. This is stitched in multicolored green floss, you can see. And this is finished on one of these little, how do you call it? They're usually for painting on. I don't know the English word. So this is just laced onto it and has this little green thing glued around it, and I'm putting this on my wall. You can get this pattern currently only on my Patreon. The link will be in the description. This is this month's pattern, so if you subscribe to my Patreon you can get this one. It will come to the shop eventually. Patterns are Patreon exclusive for 6 months, so if you want to get this now for the month of March, this is also like a cute little St. Patrick's Day-ish sort of situation, if that is something that you are into. I'm personally like all into the greens and nature themes and all that. But yeah, this is my fully finished object. I think I started this one in January. Let me check real quick. Yeah, I started in January and finished it at the end of last month. So my other finish, this is the earlier finish, but yeah, this was also finished in February, and this pattern is available in my Etsy shop. Link will also be down below, so if you want to stitch this. This is one of my, when I like to do the tiny stitches. This is, I believe, either a 28 count or 26 maybe, not sure, but I'm gonna put this on the table in a moment so you can see it unmirrored. In total, math is not my strong suit. 14,900-ish stitches, and I call this an approximate because I have worked at least on one printed pattern that I took when I was visiting my family's place, and because I wasn't at home and didn't have like a clicker or something with me, I didn't exactly count how many stitches I did on that while being out. So, but yeah, we will get to that probably around 250 or something. So this is an approximate of almost 15,000 stitches in the month of February. But now I'm gonna flip the view and we will get to the actual stitching. So here we are, and I apologize in advance if there's any shakiness. The camera is right here between me and the desk because this is the only setup I have. And these are in no particular order. I will just scroll around a little bit, try and find them, and unfortunately this time I have not opened the zippers, so apologies for that if that upsets you. First one I worked on is this little kit here that I got from the company for Vitrulia to try out their kits. They were so kind to send it to me, and this is where I'm at with it. I think I only put like one strand of blue in to it this month for a total of 45 stitches, so not overly much. Most of this has been done in January, so something I still will have to get back to. But that was number one. I will not close the zippers. I will do that later, so you only have to hear me opening them. Another one that I worked on for a total of 263 stitches this time, but I think you did not, this was before my whip parade, I think, and you've probably seen this before, a lot of people are stitching it or have finished it, the Deadly Aquarium by Lola Crow Cross Stitch. I have started this in January, I think, or maybe in December. It hasn't been long ago, that's for sure. I'm stitching it on this hardanger, this beautifully printed, and that's what I mean, shaking the camera, blue and white. And this is where it's at. Again, might be same that you've already seen in the whip parade. I don't know right now, but you will know when I put like the before picture over here. If it's the same, then it means I worked on it early February. But yeah, this is, and I am now 3% done with this, so not very far. But if you've seen my whip parade, you know that that is the theme with most of my projects. Another one that I worked on, oh, I'm so sorry, this I need to find a better setup, is this one. This is a stamped kit, and I did not do overly much on it. I believe a total of 95 stitches. This is where it's at. So this may be, yep, it's probably also around 3%. I think I only did something here in the bottom. Well, I'm not exactly sure what I did since you saw it last. Again, before and after picture will tell you more than me, I think. And in that regard, this is the one that I worked on while I was visiting my family's place. I think I did an approximate of 250 stitches on it, but again, I did not count these ones. This is what it will look like finished. It is also a stamped one. I hope I'm not giving you motion sickness with the camera. Oh gosh, the flosses are all over the place. Did not properly put them away. I think I need to do that later. Yeah, I did a little bit of the road down here. Almost finished this part of the sky, and did a bit of the sky up here. I like to put it in frame for a moment as much as I can, so I can take a picture later of the before and after. So this one, approximately 250-ish stitches, I would say. That is a very rough estimate. Next one I worked on is one I do not have a picture for. So I'm gonna see if I can insert one. But this is Floral Dice by White Raven Patterns. It's one of my D&D projects. I put a total of 173 stitches into it, like here, starting with the next flower and doing a little bit of the green over here, I believe, and that is currently 16% done. I have tried to work a little bit on my smaller projects. I want to maybe finish a few of the smaller projects that I have going on this year, so I can whip down a little bit, because we all know that I start more than I can finish. Next one is also by White Raven Patterns. This is Dragon Dice 1. I didn't have a lot done on it when I picked it back up in February, and I am currently at 10% with this one. This is where it's at. I did a lot of the sky over here, and this looks a little weird because there is like a cloud coming in here, and over here I believe here this is a cloud, so I stitch around it, so I just need to fill in the blue over here and up here. I did a total of 513 stitches on this in February. This is all of the light blue, and I think this one here, this blue, I think I put in. So that is Dragon Dice 1. Next up we have my cute little coffee dragon. I do not think I did too much on this. Now 277 stitches. This is what he looks like. Again, this is a pattern I charted from an AI image that I found on Instagram. If you want to stitch this with me, send me a message. I will gladly share it with you. You just need to give me your email address. I started this 3 times because first I did 2/2 10 stitch. I found that way too bulky with the amount of colors that this boy has. Then I tried 1/1 10 stitch. That I did not like the coverage, and then I tried 1/1 full cross for the first time with this one. This is a 28 count, and I really like this one. So technically I've done this whole part 3 times. This is where it's currently at. 277 stitches, currently being at, let me see, yeah, 0%. I mean, so it's 0.0 something, because this sheet that I'm using does not take any anything after like the full numbers, so it's probably 0.1 or 0.2. Not very far. This does have a total of 122,000 something stitches. Next up is something that I wanted to make a focus in February, but as I am wont to do, quickly fell off. This is, and the picture is a little small. This is Luntian, artwork by Margaret Morales, Heaven and Earth Designs. You've probably seen this one before as well, or one of her artworks. They are quite popular, which is understandable. They are beautiful. This is where I am at, and I hope you do not mind the hanging threads. If you do, this is a thing that you will always see with me. I park, so there will always be hanging threads, a lot of them. This is where it's at. Started in the bottom corner, currently sitting at 3%, and I did a total of 2,357 stitches on this in February. And with that, it's probably gonna go away for a bit in favor of some of my other projects. Although I did say in my whip parade that I kind of want to get all of my full coverages to 10%, which in like this year, which in all honesty is not gonna happen. But plans be plans. So this is that one. Now we have a few small ones that I did. Or started on. I had shown in my whip parade a patchwork pattern that I made ages ago that I decided to restart. I don't know why I decided to restart it and not just finish it. Probably because of the colors and the fabric. Maybe I'll finish both of them. But this is as far as I got. Choose like some bright spring colors. This is also a February start. So this will be the full version. There's gonna be 4 different patchwork patterns on here next to each other, surrounded by a frame. That's what this will be looking like. It's currently at 8%, and I did put a total of 511 stitches into it. And then I thought it would be a fun idea to stitch the patchwork squares separately. So I did that with one of them. This is where I'm at with that one. This will just be filled out with the yellow and the light pink, so you can see what it will look like when it's finished. Easy enough. This one's at 53% and also started in February. And I did 607 stitches on this one. So I will probably both put them into my shop separately when they're done, as well as the full one. So let's see where that goes when we get there. Next we have, I believe this is another February start. Let me get a quick drink. Yes, it is another February start. This is, I think, the smallest that I've ever worked on. Because this fabric is, I think it's also 28 count, but it is so tight. This is also hardinger. Then I am stitching this 1/1/10, and it's still bulking a little. So that's interesting, isn't it? Hard to see what this is at this point. This is the frame. I'm gonna try to find a picture. Like, I know I have a picture, but insert it over here. This is a personal pattern. I just charted it for myself, so it's not available anywhere. It is an AI image I found online that it's charted from, so I just thought it was fitting for what I wanted. Yeah, this was my birthday start, technically, though I started a bit early. In February, I have done a total of 1,315 stitches on this, and it is at 2%. So I'm gonna insert a picture of what it will look like finished on the side. Next, this is also one of my own patterns, although this is technically one that I'm trying out, see how it looks like, and then decide if I'm going to put it in my shop to share it or not. This is what it will look like finished. It's very simple, not overly large for full coverage. This will have 57,000 stitches. I currently have 2,647 of them done in February, sitting at 5%. So far, I do really like how it is turning out. So let me show you where I'm at. This is also stitched 1/1 full cross on 28 count, even weave from China, like China fabric. this is where it's at. There's a lot of background over here. The first hand's coming on in here. And this is my Friday stitch. I usually do stitch it every Friday, waiting for it to be late evening and when our Dungeons and Dragons game starts. And the last, but certainly not least, is my green gemmed dragon. This one is, I started sometime last year. I have done, let me find it, a total of 2,339 stitches on it this month. Oh no, February. This is what it will look like finished. Very cute. And it is not in here because this one has, for the amount of floss, as you can see, it has 2 bags, and the actual project has decided to hide in the second bag. So let me get it out so I can show you. This one is sitting at 9%, so I'm almost at my 10% goal with this one. I'm pretty sure I will get this one to 10% at least. I love working on it. 2/1 10 stitch on 28 count. For this project, the 2/1 works quite well. It is a little bulky in some places, but despite the many colors it has, is a lot of color blocking, as you can see, or like almost color blocking. It's just confetti with 2 or 3 colors and not with 10 different colors in a 10 by 10 square like the coffee dragon. But yeah, this is where this is at, top of the wing. And with that, we are done with all the projects I worked on in February. So that is my recap for February. I hope you enjoy this format of filming. I certainly do. It's a lot easier for me. And I will try to be back at the end of March, or more like the beginning of April, with my March recap. So I will try to make these monthly for as best as I can. With me model stitching a lot for my Patreon and my own Etsy shop again. I'm doing all of my models myself. Maybe at a later point I will ask around if people want to model stitch some projects for me as I make more of them. Just so keep your eyes open if you like what I am creating. And yeah, maybe you will get the opportunity to model stitch something in the future. But that being said, with that, I do not work on as many projects a week as I used to in the previous years when I swapped daily. So doing like weekly or bi-weekly videos is it doesn't make too much sense if I only worked on 2 projects that week. That would be very short, very, well, I wouldn't say boring, but very short, and a lot of effort to just like film for 2 projects and then edit and everything. So I think for now, the monthly format is good. Let me know what you think. I always love to see your comments down below, and I will try my best to answer all of them. If you have any questions about any of the projects, I am always trying to keep it brief, so I tend to sometimes forget to say where they're from and what fabric they're on, but you're welcome to ask if you're interested, and if I know, I will of course let you know. But with that, that's me rambling enough. Life updates, not so much going on. I'm busy with work. Convention season is coming up in May, so I still have a little bit of time to prepare everything, and waiting for the weather to get better. It's slowly starting to warm up outside, so I can spend a lot more time outside during my trying to do my daily walks again. I do not like it when it's too cold. And yeah, other than that, that's what's been going on, and I hope I will see you again in a month. Until then, happy stitching. Bye bye.